was nearly burned to death in this car on June the 20th, 1959. Had a supercharger on it, and just as I entered the trap, it backfired. It must have floated a valve. And there was no pop-off valve on the manifold, so it blew the whole bottom of the manifold out, and that in turn ruptured the pan, the valley cover. And of course there was a lot of pressure in the engine, so oil and nitro came up over the cowl and into my face. I got several pictures of it in the trailer out there. The fire got intensely hot. At one point it was almost white. I had on no gloves and no face mask. I did have on goggles. I was rushed to the Chester Hospital, where all there was a country doctor. He'd never seen anything like before, and he put some A&D on my hands, on my face, and wrapped me up. And that's what they did. Every couple of days, he'd take the wrappings off and put more A&D on it and wrap it back up. At 6 weeks, he told me, he said, "I'm going to have to take your hands off." He said, "You see these red lines?" He says, "That's blood poisoning setting in." He said, if I don't remove your hands, you'll surely die." I said, "That's what I want to do. I want to die. I don't want to live without my hands." My wife was there, so he just stormed out of the room and got her in the corner. And she heard me in there. I was talking real loud, you know. And so he was going to get her to sign it, but she just walked right by the doctor and came in the room and says, "What's wrong?" I said, "Honey, dear God, don't let him take my hands off. I would rather die." And she said, "I won't sign the papers." And so the doctors said, "You'll have to leave this hospital because I don't want you dying under my care." So she called the Tampa Municipal Hospital and talked to the hospital administrator, and he assured her that I would be allowed to die comfortably. They always adhered to the patient's wishes. So I came down to the municipal hospital. It's Tampa General now. And a really nice doctor. I walked into the ER room from my brother picked me up at the railway station. My wife and I carried us to the emergency room, and I walked into the emergency room, and the doctor come in. His name was Dr. Cullen. And I mean, this man was sent from God himself. He unwrapped my hands. He looked at them, and they were just like this, and just charred black. Was the most grotesque thing you've ever seen. And he took the finger, he just took that one finger, and he just stretched it like that, and the blood popped out of it. And he did the other like that, and the blood popped out. And he said, "Get this man up to surgery. He's got good circulation." And the rest is history. Here I was 92. He had done, this doctor had done over 5,000 pair of hands from the Korean tank burns. The bazooka rocket would hit the tank and penetrate the armor and shoot sparks inside the tank, and the jerry cans are inside with the gasoline. The tanks are fueled from the inside. And those sparks would penetrate those thin jerry cans, and just the entire tank would become an inferno. And the only boys that got out were the ones that were near the opening at the top. The rest were burned to death. But he was the guy that worked on all those hands. He knew what to do with hands. And I mean, it was unbelievable. 6 weeks. And here's the kicker of the whole story. The drag strip, the crooks, didn't have insurance. What they would do, if there wasn't any accidents for the weekend, they wouldn't send the insurance check in. And then, but if there was a little accident, they would send a check in on Monday. Well, this was a big accident, and so they sent the check in, but they postmarked it. On this particular time, the word got out there had been an accident, and so they knew they didn't have insurance. So when the whole thing was over, they sent me the bill. 6 weeks intensive care Chester, 6 weeks intensive care in Tampa. And I see you shaking your heads. You will not believe what that bill was. $1,600. That's what's happened to our medical profession. They don't have any better people today than they did then, and it costs that kind of money. It would be millions for that kind of work. I went over to the Citrus County Hospital a couple of years ago. I had a TCI. I was there 2 hours. They put it, and then I was dehydrated. They gave me some fluids, one white pill, $32,000. Oh. It's madness.